Today we take a question from Danielle on Facebook who asks, what are the number one important attributes? Number one important attributes. Number one is only one. You can't have number one attributes, plural, if you know what I mean. Let's try it again. Let's roll with that. Bring in the episode.
I'm here doing God's work. On a mission, had to listen and just observe. On the world stage, this life is my concert. That's why.
Today we're taking a question from Facebook. Danielle Williams, who says, what do you believe the most compelling attributes of a good communicator are? I read the question wrong, but you got the essence of it. Danielle, this is a really good question because being an effective communicator, I think, is fundamental to anybody who wants to create a successful life, a successful business, successful relationships, become somebody of value. It is all underpinned by how well you communicate. Communicate with yourself and communicate with others. And I want to share with you the fundamental two principles, having studied everything from psychology to management to leadership to NLP to traditional psychology since I was about 14 years of age. This is something that I've obsessed about for about 14 or 15 years now. And I want to share with you the fundamental two principles that I think can make anybody a really effective communicator and enable them to be themselves and enable others to be the best version of themselves as well. First ingredient is this, authenticity, right? I think whenever somebody steps onto a stage, metaphorically speaking, right, whether it's in front of an audience of one, or whether it's in front of a group of people, or whether it's in front of 1,000 people, or whether it's in front of a camera, we tend to lose our personality, right? Our personality goes whoop, and it shrinks because we step into professionalism. We step into what other people want us to be. Here's the principle. The more you can tap into who you truly are, the more you can own your faults and your weaknesses. And if you swear, then swear. And if you don't, then don't. If you're an introvert, then speak quietly. If you're an extrovert, then be charismatic. You know, whoever you are, whatever the core fundamental character traits and sort of communication styles that come naturally to you, be that, own that, be okay with that. And the more authenticity that you can muster, the more vulnerably yourself you can be, the more the audience smiles back, right? As I said, whether it's the audience of one or an audience of 10 or an audience of 1,000 or an audience of a camera, the more authentic you can be, the more the world smiles back. The second principle I take from a great man called Jack Welch, who I think is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, corporate CEO in business history. And I want to read you a passage from Unprofessional, which sort of summarizes the essence of what I think made Jack great. He built GE on a culture of informality, essentially tearing down the hierarchical structures that were in place when he first took the seat in 1981. He believed in real human interaction and tried to create a coffee pot culture that encouraged general discussion and debate. Side note, Jack was big on candid communication, right? Just say what's real, say what you're thinking, let's have it out, let's have a debate from a position of love and respect, but let's ultimately find the core of an issue. Welch loved the game of business, appreciated great people, and had a fierce competitive nature. He loved to reward his top performers while having candid conversations when necessary and making the hard decisions when it was required. To me, this is the essence of leadership, to come from a place of heart and to love the people within and around your organization while not shying away from making the hard decisions when nobody else is willing to. Welch, no doubt, took a tough love approach to leadership. In 1999, he was named the Manager of the Century by Fortune magazine. When he retired in 2001, he'd taken the revenues from $26 billion to $130 billion. GE had gone from a market value of $14 billion to $410 billion in 2004, making it the largest, most valuable company in the world at the time, the legacy of one of the greatest leaders of all time. Welch oversaw the GE empire with hundreds of thousands of employees and hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue with the decisiveness you would expect to see in a startup business, and all of this while still insisting his staff call him Jack, right? Principle number 2 when it comes to really effective communication is tough love. You have to really genuinely, authentically love, like in the depths of your soul, love your people, right? Everything I do, everything I say, almost everything I think is for my people. I love them stupid, incredible, concerning amounts, right? However, if I just love them and I just want to be their buddy and they come and they have a challenge and I start sympathizing with them and just make them feel better about themselves, then I'm no longer being the leader. I'm loving them, but it's not tough love. So tough love is loving them, but giving your people and the people around you through your communication direction and coaching and leadership and hard conversations when they need it. You know, as Jobs has said, my job isn't to make people feel better about themselves. My job is to make people better, right? I take the same view. It's not out of an authoritative approach. It's not out of a dictatorial approach. It's not out of a trying to manufacture productivity. It's I genuinely care for them. I genuinely want to make them better. I obsess about how to make myself and other people better and how to, you know, enable people to become the best version of themselves. And you can't do that without really tough love. So, Danielle, number one, authenticity. More authentic you can be, the more the world smiles back. And number two, tough love. Love your people, love everybody around you. However, be tough, lovingly tough and compassionately challenge them when the situation requires. Question for you guys in the comments below. What do you believe the number one ingredient of effective communication is? Is it authenticity for you? Is it tough love? Is it something else? Have you ever watched somebody speak and been spellbound by what they were saying? What was the magic? What was the ingredients? If you could articulate what they were doing in one or two words or one sentence, what would that be for you guys? What makes really effective communication? Danielle, love that question. Thank you for submitting it. I look forward to speaking with you guys tomorrow.
'Cause I'm lighting up the stars. You know I'm lighting up the stars. Yeah, we here doing God's work. 'Cause you know tonight is